I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to find this. 10 days ago, my older brother Elias died in a freak hiking accident in the Appalachian Trail. But when I went to clear out his apartment in downtown Columbus, I found a floorboard that didn't sit right. Underneath it wasn't money or drugs. It was a cassette tape labeled The Midnight Whisper and a stack of redacted police reports from 1994. My brother wasn't hiking. He was hunting something. And looking at these photos, I think whatever he was hunting finally caught up to him. There are 3 names mentioned in his notes: Sarah Miller, Detective Vance, and someone or something he just calls a listener. If Elias was so careful, so paranoid, how did they find him? And why is there a fresh muddy footprint on my kitchen floor right now? You guys need to listen closely, because I don't think I have much time to tell this. So Elias and I grew up in this tiny town in Ohio called Blackwood Creek. It was the 90s, no cap, the kind of place where you left your back door unlocked and your biggest worry was the local high school football score. Elias was always the adventurous one, always filming stuff on his old camcorder. He was best friends with Sarah Miller, a girl who lived just 2 blocks over on Pine Street. Everything was totally normal until the summer of 1994. That's when the phone calls started. Not telemarketers or pranksters. Just these weird, static-heavy calls at exactly 12 a.m. My parents thought it was a glitch in the town's old copper wiring, but Elias, he was convinced someone was trying to say something. He called it the Midnight Whisper. It started off as a joke between him and Sarah, but then I noticed Elias stopped smiling. He started locking his bedroom window from the inside. He wouldn't even go to the mailbox alone. I asked him what was up, and he just looked at me with this hollow expression and said it knows my name, Leo. It knows where I sleep. August 14th, 1994. That's the date that changed everything. I remember being woken up by my mom screaming. I ran into the hallway and saw her standing by the phone in the kitchen. The line was dead, but the handset was just hanging there swinging like a pendulum. Sarah Miller had vanished in the middle of the night. No signs of a break-in. No struggle. Just an empty bed and a phone off the hook. When the police showed up, including this guy, Detective Vance, they acted like it was no big deal. They kept saying she probably just ran away with some guy from the next town over. But Elias knew that was a lie. He showed me a tape he'd recorded the night before. He'd hooked his recorder up to the phone line. On the tape, you can hear Sarah's voice sounding totally drugged out, whispering coordinates. Then this other voice comes in. It didn't sound human. It sounded like air escaping a lung. The listener is pleased. Elias tried to show Vance the tape, but the detective literally snatched it and told him to shut his mouth if he didn't want his parents in trouble. It was so messed up. The cover-up started before the search party even left the station. Fast forward to me sitting in Elias's apartment last week. I started going through those police reports he'd hidden. Elias had been tracking this for 30 years, you guys. He found out that Sarah wasn't the only one. Between 1980 and 2010, 47 people vanished from towns within a 50-mile radius of Blackwood Creek. All of them disappeared after reporting whispers on their phone lines. All of the cases were handled by the same small group of officers led by Vance. I found photos Elias took of a facility about 5 miles into the woods, an old bunker from the Cold War that was supposed to be decommissioned in the 70s. But the photos show fresh tire tracks. They show guards in plain clothes carrying crates labeled medical waste. My brother was getting close, and I can see the paranoia in his handwriting. It gets shakier with every page. He figured out that the Midnight Whisper wasn't a ghost. It was a frequency, a specific sound wave used to disorient people before they were snatched. He wrote, "They aren't killing them. They're using them as relays." What the hell does that even mean? Relays for what? I found a hidden drive in Elias's stuff with a video file dated the day before he died. He'd actually made it inside that bunker. The footage is shaky, low-key terrifying. He walks past these rows of glass tanks. Inside weren't bodies, they were just heads. Dozens of them, suspended in this glowing blue liquid with wires fused directly into their jawbones and ear canals. He pans a camera to a logbook on a nearby desk. The names were all there. Sarah Miller, 1994. Margaret Sullivan, 1987. Dr. Richard Harrison, 1999. It wasn't a government project. Not exactly. It was something much older using the government as a shell. Elias whispers into the camera that these people are being used as a biological processor for some kind of signal. Their brains are being forced to decode a transmission from somewhere else. A transmission that only happens at midnight. He finds a document with a letterhead that just says the sound of the void. He's breathing so hard in the video, you can tell he's about to lose it. Then a voice comes over the intercom in the bunker. It's Vance's voice, but it sounds like it's being projected from 1,000 miles away. "Elias, we've been waiting for a fresh mind. Here's the dark truth that Elias died for. There's an entity, or maybe a frequency from another dimension, that fed on the collective consciousness of our town. The local authorities, the ones we trusted protect us, made a deal back in the 50s. In exchange for technology and stability, they had to provide a certain number of human nodes every decade. They weren't just killing these people. They were keeping them in a state of perpetual, agonizing awareness to act as a bridge for this thing to enter our reality. The midnight whisper wasn't a message. It was the sound of the bridge opening. Sarah Miller didn't run away. She's still there. Her brain has been processing the screams of the void for 30 years. And the worst part, Vance and the others, they weren't being mind-controlled. They did it for the money, for the power. They sold out their own neighbors, their own kids, just to keep the frequency happy. Elias realized that the hiking accident the police reported was a total lie. He didn't fall. He was taken to be the next node. He managed to record one last thing before the video cut out. It was a scream, but it wasn't Elias. It was 47 voices screaming in perfect, terrifying unison. As soon as I finished watching that video, my front door was kicked in. I didn't wait. I didn't pack. I jumped out my first floor window and sprinted for the woods behind my apartment. I could hear them behind me, blacked out SUVs, flashlights cutting through the trees. It was Vance. I knew it was. I could hear him call my name, sounding all calm and fatherly, telling me I deserved to know the truth. I ran until my lungs felt like they were filled with broken glass. I could hear that whisper again, but it wasn't coming from a phone. It was coming from the trees themselves. Every leaf that rustled sounded like Sarah Miller's voice. I tripped over a root and went face first into the mud, and for a second, I thought it was over. I felt a hand on my shoulder, cold like ice. I swung Elias's heavy recorder at whatever was behind me and heard a crack. I didn't look back. I just crawled, then ran until I hit the main highway. A trucker saw me covered in mud and blood and actually stopped. If he hadn't, I'd be in a tank right now. I'm certain of it. I spent the next 3 days in a cheap motel outside of Pittsburgh. I tried to upload Elias's files to the cloud, but every time I hit send a connection would just drop. Then I got a call. My phone didn't even ring. I just picked it up and heard that gravelly, wet voice. It said the relay is incomplete, Leo. You're holding the missing piece. I checked the news. There was no mention of a bunker. No mention of my brother's hiking accident being reopened. In fact, Blackwood Creek's local paper ran an article saying I was missing and endangered, and that I was a primary suspect in my brother's death. They're framing me. Vance is using his connections to erase me before I could even speak. I tried calling the FBI, but the guy on the other end of the line, he had that same weird, rhythmic way of breathing. I hung up and threw my SIM card in the toilet. I'm alone in this. Elias is gone. Sarah is whatever she is now, and the people who were supposed to be the good guys are the ones hunting me. I haven't slept more than 20 minutes at a time. Every time I close my eyes, I hear that whisper. It's like it's inside my skull now. It's 2026 now, and I'm recording this from a burner phone in a basement I rented with cash. If you're wondering why you haven't heard about this on the news, it's because the bunker didn't get shut down. It expanded. I went back to Blackwood Creek last month, disguised, obviously. The old bunker site is now a massive data center owned by a shell company. But there are no fiber optic lines going in, just those same heavy-duty power cables. And the cell towers? Look at them. Next time you're driving through a rural area in Ohio or Pennsylvania, look at the towers. They have these weird, pulsing attachments that don't look like any 5G tech I've ever seen. Elias's notes said they were moving from landlines to a broadcast model. They don't need to snatch people one by one anymore. They're using the whole grid. I've been tracking the whisper on digital frequencies. It's everywhere now. It's in the background of your YouTube ads. It's in the static of your smart speakers. It's a low-level hum that most people just tune out. But I can't hear it. I can hear Sarah's voice in the white noise of my fan. She's still calling for help. But here's the thing I just realized. The reason I can hear it, so clearly it's not because I'm special. Last night I looked in the mirror and I saw a faint blue glow coming from inside my own ear. I haven't been to a doctor in years. I haven't been near that bunker since I ran. Then I remembered that night in the woods when I felt that cold hand on my shoulder. They didn't want to catch me. They just wanted to tag me. I'm not a survivor, you guys. I'm a mobile relay. And if you've listened to this entire video, if you've heard the recordings I've been playing in the background, then you've been exposed to the frequency too. Wait, I can hear it right now. It's coming through the speakers you're using. Look at your phone. Is it midnight where you are? Are you hearing that low hum? Don't answer your phone. If it's an unknown number and all you hear is static hang up, because once you hear the whisper, you've already been invited, and they never ever stop coming until they get their node. Stay awake, stay quiet, and for the love of God, don't listen to the static. They're already in the room with you.